Welcome to the Soul Shaman podcast. My name is Haley Noah, and I'm a modern day shamanic practitioner, cacao ceremonialist, and soul purpose expert. I believe that the answers to the bigger and smaller life questions are already within you. You just need the right tools to uncover them. That is why in this podcast, I'll share what I call soul shamanism, a blend of shamanism, ancient wisdom, practical tools, and modern spirituality, all to help you connect to your soul so you can discover your purpose and remember your inner wisdom. Whether you are here for clarity, inspiration, or just a spark to guide your next step, I hope that my whispers may guide you. Now let's dive into today's episode. Well, hello. Welcome back to a new episode. And I'm really excited because maybe you can also feel it because spring is in the air. It is officially March, and this means that we have already stepped into the meteorological beginning of spring. This is like the hardest word. I'm not going to try it again. I think I did it pretty all right. But yes, it is spring already on paper. And even though the equinox is on March 21st, I really wanted to already come to you with an episode about working with the spring energy from a shamanic point of view, but also have a little look at other ancient traditions and what their views are when it comes to the spring energy. But then, of course, also how can we then apply all of that wisdom into our own lives to help us connect more to our soul, and with that also allowing that spring energy to support us in our lives. And that is really a way of bringing that ancient wisdom, applying that into your modern day life. And that is just such a beautiful way to do that. So I'm also going to share a ritual with you. Now, let me start by saying maybe you've heard of this before, that spring is the season of new beginnings. But for me, it also really feels a little bit like saying water is wet. We know that spring has that energy of renewal. The world starts to get back to life and everything begins to bloom again in nature. We all know that. But today, let's go deeper. Because in ancient traditions, spring was seen as a portal, a time of spiritual awakening, and a moment to call back your soul from the depths of winter. And that is really interesting, right? So how can we apply all of that into our daily lives and actually benefit from it? We are going to dive into this. Now, spring is often associated with new beginnings, but what does that actually mean? Maybe you think, okay, it is spring, so this is a moment of sudden change. I need to make resolutions, set goals, planting seeds. I don't know about your feed on Instagram, but on my Instagram feed around the New Year's, many people were posting that January 1st is not the time of the year to set goals, to make your resolutions. You need to do that when spring is here. And now spring is here. So now maybe you feel like, okay, I need to make my New Year's resolutions. It is now time. But the truth is, spring isn't about forcing something new into existence. It is about recognizing what has already been stirring beneath the surface all along. And you can really see it like a seed that was planted months ago, and your inner transformation has already begun. And even if you can't see it yet, something within you has been preparing to break through. So the real question for spring is, what are you ready to let in? What has already been bubbling and bursting within you underneath the surface? What already has all of its potential. And now that the energy of the world is becoming more and stronger, it's now actually ready to come out. And as I said, in ancient cultures, spring is seen more as an energetic doorway, as that portal, as a way of leaving behind the darkness of winter and the heavier energies, and with that, allowing yourself to make a shift. In Celtic traditions, they would actually perform quote unquote threshold rituals as an act of them mentally and spiritually stepping out of winter mode, which is more about introspection and stillness, and stepping more into action mode, which is all about growth and movement. In Andean shamanism, spring is linked to the direction of the east, and this is the direction of the rising sun and the eagle. Now, the eagle represents seeing the bigger picture, getting clarity on your path forward. And shamans would literally climb to highest places at sunrise to receive insights and visions for the new season. That would also be a cool thing for us to do, probably. And in Siberian shamanism, in the spring, the first spring winds were seen as messengers of change. People would actually go outside, stand in the wind, and call in the energy of renewal, like a spiritual reset button, basically. And I also just really love this image. Just standing there with your arms open, allowing the wind to hit your face like a dramatic movie scene. And with that, all these revelations can come through to you. So, there's so much wisdom in that. And why not also create our own rituals so we can really start to work with that spring energy, stepping through that portal and initiating us into maybe possible next chapters. The energy around us is shifting, and maybe that can also be an invitation for you in your life to also have some shifts. And I do want to make a little side note, because just because spring is an invitation to make some changes, it doesn't mean that you have to, obviously. Sometimes maybe things are already perfect as they are, and you don't want to make any changes because you are right in between that what it is that you are doing and you're thriving in that. Then obviously continue to do that. Maybe you are going through a rougher patch, what is also called a dark night of the soul. And with that, you are more in the energy of introspection, and you absolutely do not want to think about starting anything new. And that is, of course, also fine. But the ritual that I'm going to present to you is really an invitation to also connect to yourself and to your soul. And with that, who knows what it may come forth. If you are going through a darker patch, maybe that can bring in the light. If you are right in the middle of something that is good and amazing, maybe that new spring energy can still give you more endurance and more clarity, and maybe a new vision that is going to make that project even more beautiful. And I honestly love rituals, and that is because they are physical acts of setting your intention, and with that telling your brain and your subconscious and your soul and all the spirits around you that something important is happening. Doing this physical act that is symbolic, like maybe lighting a candle or planting a seed, can really send those signals to the brain and your subconscious mind that something is happening. And this isn't just some woo-woo stuff, it is actually backed up by science. Rituals are believed to reduce anxiety, boost confidence, and actually help you follow through with your intention. So it is really beautiful and powerful to, on a regular basis, do little rituals for yourself. And I'm now going to share with you a ritual that you can do now at the beginning of this spring season. This is already going to set the foundation so that once spring equinox hits on March 21st, you have already created that foundation and you can really start to work with those energies even more. Okay, so let's get into the good part. Your spring awakening ritual. This is a 3-step process that is going to help you clear out the old, awaken your vision, and plant your next chapter. For this ritual, you need a feather or a fan, but your breath will also work. A candle, a journal and a pen, and if you have some seeds and a small pot of soil or a patch of earth, so you can plant your intentions. Now, spring is about making space for the new. We spoke about it. But before you can do that, you first need to let go of the energy of winter. And that is why the first step of this ritual is to go outside or open up a window. You close your eyes, you take a deep breath, as you feel the air moving around you, clearing, and imagine that this air that is moving around you is clearing anything that feels stuck and heavy and you no longer need. And as you feel the air going around you, you can whisper, "Winds of spring, clear my path. Carry away what is no longer serving me and make space for the new." And then if you have a feather or a fan, you can gently wave around you, imagining that you are clearing your energy field with that feather or with that fan. A piece of paper will actually also do, really brushing away the old energy. And then after you've done that and you feel like something has shifted, you take a big exhalation, and with that you physically release everything that is ready to go. Once you've done that, once you've made space, it is time to call in clarity, the second step. And we are going to do that with the element of fire, as that is the element that represents transformation. And it also helps us to see what is next. So after you've been outside or with your head in the window, you take your candle, you light it, and you sit with it for a moment. And then you can really invite your soul to step forwards, to embody you, welcome in the wisdom of your soul. And then you can ask your soul, what is awakening within me? What am I ready to step into? What potential has already been growing underneath the surface in the fertile soil of winter and is now ready to come out to the surface? You ask yourself these questions. Don't overthink it. Listen into what is coming up for you, and then just allow that to flow. Fire doesn't ask for permission to burn, it just transforms. So whatever comes up for you in that moment, trust that that is exactly what you need. You write down what is coming up for you, and then you can even burn that piece of paper with all that is rising within you. Not to let it go, but to actually transmute that into light. To give it the energy of the fire, and to trust that with that physical action, with that ritual, that what is rising within you now will also get that energy to fully come into fruition. After you've done that, the third step that you can take is planting your seeds of intention. And maybe you have actual seeds that will be really, really helpful. If you don't have actual seeds, then you can also just plant the seeds of your intention. So let's assume that you have some physical seeds. You take those in your hands. These seeds represent your intention, and you are actually going to make the physical act of planting those seeds in the soil that you have in front of you. Because what you plant now, both in the earth and in your life, will grow over the coming months. So as you have the seeds in your hands, you can whisper your intention into those seeds. For example, I plant my seeds with love. May it grow into a healthy relationship. I plant my seeds with wisdom. May I know how to take care of my body. Whatever it is that is awakening within you that you want to step into, you feel it, you call it close, you whisper it within the seeds, and then you blow into the seeds. Those seeds you bury into the soil that you have in front of you. And as you do, imagine your intention taking root. Imagine it to grow and bloom and gently start to grow and really become vibrant. After you've done that, you blow over the soil or you wave with your feather one more time, symbolizing the breath of life, bringing your intention into life. And then after that, you've taken your beautiful spring awakening ritual and you are ready for spring season. So I hope that you are ready to do this little ritual for yourself, to set those intentions, to feel into that what has already been growing within you. And some extra reflection questions could be, what am I planting in my life in this spring? What actions can I take to help it grow? What do I need to release to fully step into this next chapter? Allow all the answers to come to you. Give yourself some time to work with your soul and this new energy that is on the earth, making it into your own little shamanic ceremony. I will drop the steps of the ritual in the show notes, so that will make it easier for you to read everything back and to do the ritual. So I hope that you've enjoyed this ritual, that you are going to do it, and please feel free to take pictures of it and send them to me on Instagram. I cannot wait to see all your beautiful rituals. And then of course also to hear how they have manifested for you into your lives. Now, before I sign off, I want to invite you to join my retreats this summer and fall. So that is already into the next seasons. So on July 20th, I'm hosting a one-day retreat. This retreat is all about reflecting on the year that has been so far and deciding what your next steps are going to be. The day, it will be from morning until the afternoon, filled with ceremony, nature rituals, healthy lunches, and beautiful rituals and exercises to get closer to yourself and with that your next step. If you want to go even deeper, then you can join me from September 12th to 14th, a full weekend. And during that weekend, we are also going to drink cacao, do rituals, all of those things, but all with the intention to remember your path and purpose in this lifetime. September is really that beautiful time to reflect, to maybe after summer take plans towards new careers, new purposes, and this retreat is going to help you and support you with that. So if that is something that is interesting to you, please join me. I will also add all of the details, or at least the link to the details, in the show notes. So check that out. And then now it is time for me to sign off. Thank you for tuning in to a new episode. I cannot wait to whisper wisdom in your ears next time. But until then, I wish you lots of fun with this ritual. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Soul Shaman podcast with whispers from Haley Noah. I hope today's episode inspired you to look within and reconnect with your soul's wisdom. Remember, the answers you are longing for are already inside of you. If you loved this episode, it would mean a lot if you can subscribe, leave a review, or share this episode with someone who might need these whispers too. Until next time, keep listening to the wise whispers of your soul. My name is Haley Noah, and I cannot wait to guide you again in my next episode. Bye.